X to the Z, big congrats on the new podcast, Lasagna Ganja. Man,
Thank you.
I could listen to you talk about anything. Uh,
Oh, that's dope. Yeah,
but
thank you.
but the fact that it's cannabis, like I'm all in. I'm just all in. All the more. How high were you when you came up with the idea for this show?
Actually, I was pretty sober when I came up with it because, we got to put you ever heard the phrase, "We got to put paint where it ain't."
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of different like podcasts that go out and it has cannabis involved in it, but it's just a bunch of guys sitting around smoking joints talking. Um, I wanted this to be more informative. I wanted this to be
Yeah.
a go-to platform for people who take um, cannabis seriously first. And it's called Lasagna Ganja because there's layers to this thing. And so we try to go through each layer and give it the right amount of attention and education to the people listening because it's not just about people smoking weed and getting high.
Right.
There is an economic side, there is a political side, there is a medicinal side,
Mm-hmm.
there is a physiological side, a mental health side. There's so many different things that add up to this thing called cannabis, and the industry is an afterthought. But it's just as important. So that's why we call it the lasagna ganja, and I think we've gotten off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, you just hit on a couple things I wanted to follow up on. I mean, because that is, I think, the most surprising thing about the podcast. Like for the lack of a better word, it's more like academic or pensive or thoughtful. I think than people might expect coming into it. Like this is not you guys like talking about the best Scooby Doo episodes to like get high and watch with like Scooby snacks. You know, it's about the culture of
Yeah,
cannabis, the socio-political aspects, the politics of cannabis, health and wellness. All the you guys are having a really nuanced conversations.
correct. And we wanted to be like that for many reasons, but the most important reason is because as this becomes up for debate as federal legalization for decriminalization, what it means for each state, taxation revenue, the amount of people that are still incarcerated for cannabis nonviolent offenses. There's so much attached to it. It's not going to be broken down in one episode and tied up in a bow. These are ongoing conversations that have to happen. And
Mhm.
so we want to be that place for these things to happen. Whether you consume or not, coming and being educated about what's coming across the plate is something that we want to pride ourselves in being the forefront of. It's been really dope to be able to kind of form this thing from the ground up and have these important conversations. And at the same time, I'm learning with the audience. I by any means am I an expert on everything and everything cannabis.
Yeah.
So, I use it as a learning experience too, so I can go through this journey with the audience, and we all come out with something good at the end.
Who's on like your wish list to smoke with? Give me like a top three, top five.
Willie Nelson is my number one. I like to smoke with Joe Rogan one day. That'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Seth Rogen too. I like to smoke with him. Haven't been able to get him in the room, but
Uh-huh.
this is all gonna happen. Who else? Woody Harrelson. I'd like to smoke with him. I heard he's a great consumer. So
I think he's
yeah,
smoking. Yeah, and I know he took a break. I think, but I think he's back at it. I think he's back.
yeah. These are all things that are gonna
Yeah.
happen eventually. I'm gonna speak it into existence.